Namo manjo shiri ye, Namo so shiri ye, Namo u Dhamma shiri so ha, O Namo manjo shiri ye, Namo so shiri ye, Namo u Dhamma shiri so ha, O Namo manjo shiri ye, Namo so shiri ye, Namo u Dhamma shiri so ha.
Dola benja zanjin rupa yo sa shi beje shuje me do da zha len chen nen de je ban da san ji kin do mi de bo ro ge na da yin la je bo yo ya da go ro re na men ra la ga ne ya da ya mi. Ta na ji na ji lu na na ge chu di ding ge to ne. Dunga sinje da tang che da ge chen de ma na ji ka rin chen bo cha da ma ma je ba ji cha ma she ba la tang ji ma cha ba yin jinje ji man de na de wan de ja lando ko lo ji lo ge dung ba shi nyo ne de ka ki ji ja man de jinje ji man de na de ji pi su so ba da che na che ma ru che ba ji ji che ba sha o to ji ni shang ba ji mo yo.
Please sit according to 7 meditative posture of Vairocana. All sentient beings have been our mothers, and they have been our mothers for numberless times. Their kindness is exactly the same as the mothers of this life. All mother sentient beings do want happiness and do not want suffering. By not knowing the object of abandonment and adoptions properly, they only experience suffering. In our minds, sincerely cultivate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings. How nice if all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to have excellent happiness.
Da de ji dunga ji na sinje da tang ji ji go sun ji mun de bi cho ta da da zha na je ma ru zha wa ju ju zha wa da ge xiao de da xie ni ma la ma la yi xin ji lo de su du ni jie kong shi.
Next, we cultivate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings. How nice if all suffering mother sentient beings were free of all, three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free of all adversities. May three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free of all adversities. I will cause three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free of all adversities. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
Da de ji se dunga ji na sinje da tang xin ko wa da nge su gu dunga le de nge si la po gu du nge nge ra la po je da di ne ga se yang da wa zu be sang ji ji kong ba le bi ni ba me ni ba de si la ye se yang da wa zu be sang ji la ye bi sinje tang ji jin de sang ji ji kong ba ren bo ji jin je to ba xiao yan bi chang ju ji sen kong shi.
Next, we cultivate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves who should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of three lower realms and of whole samsara. I should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of three lower realms and of whole samsara. But I do not have the ability right now. Only those who have achieved the state of complete perfect enlightenment have the ability to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, by all means, I want to become Buddha. Next, we meditate on emptiness, that I do not exist intrinsically one with, nor intrinsically different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist intrinsically. Set motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. For this purpose, I'm going to listen to holy teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. That's it. Yes, so I'm going to continue the topic that we talked about last week, definitions of substantial cause. That's all. The definitions of a substantial cause is that which merely produces its substantial result in its own substantial continuum. So this is one of the definitions. And another definition for a substantial cause is that which merely produces between the nature and attributes, that which merely produces the nature is the substantial cause. To give an example, rice seed is the substantial cause of a rice sprout, and clay is the substantial cause of clay pot. Yeah, so regarding this substantial cause and cooperative conditions, so it comes in, it will appears in many different texts, and they are very common things. They are common terms that will appears in many texts. So it's very important to make sure we understand this. So from the example given here is a very easy example to illustrate the substantial cause and also the cooperative conditions. So just like the substantial cause has two definitions, then similarly to cooperative conditions, there are two definitions as well. The first one is that which mainly produces its cooperative result outside its substantial continuum. This is one of it. And the second one is between the nature and attributes, that which mainly produces the attributes. Then this is the second definitions of cooperative condition.
다들 배샤오데 칠리데 간단 요구를 행지 시제 그래서와 칠리데 요구를 행지 시제 사베달 행지도 요구 진 시비다 요구를 행지 시제에서 먼저 사베들 간단 진 생겨지 보러와 진 생겨지면 요구 제도고요 뭐러와 어다 사베달 행도 된 요구기 진 시비 요구를 행지 시제에서 그다 배샤오도
So the example for cooperative conditions is water and fertilizer are the cooperative conditions of a sprout. And they are called the cooperative conditions of a sprout because they act as the conditions of the sprout together with the seed. So even though there is seed, but without the conditions, seed cannot produce or cannot give rise to the sprout. So together, so the seed together with the conditions, then it produces the result sprout.
아들마 월마 딜레군도와 다 안년에 달린지 신데니게 촌인 데부제단데 대다 년에 지랑데 대제발라스와 다 년에 그랑게 데부데 다 년에 사변다고 디그랑 데부데 제발라 다 렌지 시제게 도시고리에서와 렌지 시제서와 도시바다 가생아서 진지 체니스 가시 슈자로 월도서로 로리로와 도시바 진지 체니스 가시 슈자로와 오데 다 간다 렌지 시제게 도시라서 때 데니라 랑기로와 다 년에다 린지시 되니라 다랑근 데브랑기 제진도 좋아 제진도 찌매지지 대 제바여 봐 마세스로와 다랑기 제진도 찌매지 제바여 마세 다 년에지 팀모만 위죠 린지시지게 팀모 위죠 그래서 담부되시로와
So previously we also talk about the definitions of conditions. Definitions of conditions is that which assist. So that which assists is the definitions of conditions. So in brief, cooperative conditions assist the substantial cause to produce its result. So cooperative conditions is the one that assists or help the substantial cause to produce its result, as mentioned just now, together with the seed. And then between so the difference between substantial cause and cooperative condition. So the difference is whether or not it produces its result within its own substantial continuum, and also the substantial cause is the uncommon cause, whereas cooperative condition is the common cause.
ngaso nyele chötigi nyele na chötigi timu mamji chö kandikila jadarada ta pomba da medo da kanda shinde kandikila jabayna chötigi timu mayi nyele da chötigi timu mayi jo roa timu mayi jo o lenji shijesna timu jo da denji samtang tambo.
Yeah, so basically when we talk about substantial cause is the uncommon cause. So this is something that we have to keep in our mind. Substantial cause is the uncommon cause and cooperative conditions is the common cause. Then we apply or we link it to a thing like, for example, a pot, a flowers, or a fruit, for example.
At the patient, the level of patient, Niji Sabijin, Niji Nogu Josheji, Niji Nogu Joshe Maria Serva. That Niji Sabete. That Niji Sabiji, Niji Nugui, Joshin, Rich Nugu Joshu Maria, that Timu might be doing Tatarova. Timu Niji Sabigi, Nejiko, Judin Timu Maibariamato, could Jun Timu Chasna, then Rich Nugu Joshagura, Timu Chana, that didn't Timu Marin, Timu Maibariroa, Niji Sabiji, Neji Nugui Joshin, Rich Nugu Josh Majapata. Pete Hindo, then Rich Sabiji. Niji Nugui Joshi, Neji Nugui Joshi, Mari Jomajibi, the Sabitida, Timo Maibi Jota, Chili Teniki, Joshi bin Timo Jojo Barese, that they should do.
So for example, a barley seed acts as the cause of a barley sprout, but doesn't act as the cause of a rice sprout. Similarly, a rice seed acts as the cause of a rice sprout, but then doesn't act as a cause of a barley sprout. So from these example, a barley seed acts as a cause of a barley sprout, but doesn't act as a cause of a rice sprout, it already shows that the seed is the uncommon cause. So it shows the reason that the seed, a barley seed, is an uncommon cause. So therefore, these seeds are posited as uncommon cause, whereas water and fertilizer are posited as common cause, since they act as the causes of both results.
다 간다 티모 이주세요데 가서 칠리데 간다 티모 이주레세 딘 티모 이주레라고 이주세 가스나 칠리데 네지 스타베지 누구 제발아 진체버 진주진 제벌이 해서와 네지 스타베지 누구 제발아 진체버에 네지 스타베지 누구 제발아 진체버에 딘니가 그 주체버에 진체버이 해서와 딘니가 그 도시거리 진체버이 해서 간다 다 딘니가 그 진체버선다 단 티모 이주세요와 티모 이주세 티모 로고 진체데 그런 딘니가 그 주시비 준세지로와
And why do we say that water and fertilizer are common cause? Is because they assist the productions of a barley seed, a barley sprout, and they assist the productions of a rice sprout. And because of this reason, water and fertilizer are posited as common cause.
어디시로와 다들 양장가서 년리지 조어 제바시바다 렌지시지 조 제바집이 츠너시다 다다지 가서 랑게 신이 담보되기 된다는 말이 서로와 다들 월말에 온다 니바들어와베 년리지 로와 년리지 조어 제바시 그래서 렌지시지게 조 제바시바시 그래서와 제바집이 다 담보되기 전에 뜻배도 월말 쉬우도와
So substantial cause mainly produces the nature, whereas cooperative conditions mainly produces the attributes. So this is the second definitions of substantial cause and cooperative conditions. So that which mainly produces the nature and that which mainly produces the attributes.
다 니지 누구다 니지 누구서지로와 누구 관시 간다지나 소 니리지 로와 티모만비 조데 니리지 제바시 그래서와 소데로와 다 모데 누구디 바 간다 로와 니리지 제바치 그래서 다 누구 모데로와 다 모데 니리지 제바치 그래 다 누구디 체바데 다 체바데 누구기 체바다 가서 누구기 체바데 야와다 비다보 차야다 누구 첨보다 춘주다 로와 그래서 zaman 누구기 체바로와 누구기 체바 누구 첨보 춘주 로와 누구 야와 누구 녜바 그래서 대치시 체바로와 오데 단 렌지시지 되게 로와 렌지시지 되게 단 누구기 체바데 제바시 그래서 로와 단 누구 체바데 단 누구 비다보다 첨보다 야보다 보다 든지 이용하기 진식을 해서 거다.
And for example, whether a barley sprout grows or a rice sprout grows mainly is the function of the substantial cause. So substantial cause is said to be the uncommon cause, right? And this substantial cause is the one mainly produces the nature of the sprout. So this is the so whether a barley sprout grows or a rice sprout grows depends on the functions of the substantial cause. And whereas the size and how good quality the sprout is mainly is the functions of the cooperative conditions. So cooperative conditions is the one mainly produces the attributes of the sprout. Like for example, whether it become big, is a big one, or is a small one, or is a good quality one, or is a bad quality. So it is the main is the functions of the cooperative conditions.
당안서 간다 되시로와 다 나지 두서 상당고다 간다 소소 숑 가발라 나지페 주다 찡기 쳇바디 샤우디 오다 티모마이비 주니엘에서와데 간다 소소게다 주친 자사 망부시우로 단듯이 강가라 간다 주친데 주다 찡데 샤고로와 디지 간디지나랑 그 줄로 마치바 요마레로와 줄로 마치바 자원이 요마 다 주 마치바 메와선다 다 주티 간다 니리 주다 힌지 시진이 요래 되니 요래로와 요요지레 다 든디선자 다 단다데 가서 사베다 누구다 zulma 빼자오디 고데보라 빠서 빼 고데야 든디기 제대로 다 슈구페 다 주다 킨트서 케차 마부 시우디 다 디솔라 칸다 니리 주세와다 다조 오다 지지 지지 든디 제바치 샤군두사 데스나 상담 다지 구르다 다 칸다 니리스와데 추티 니리 주세와데 야미 지지 조 지지다 야미 오치바 ngô zo cheba shi ta tndi chi gu do wa sa sang de tang ro de sin le ba chi ta chi se wa de ge ta ze ji mai ba chi cheba shin ge ren do wa chi di ze ji mai ba ro wa ze ji mai ba da ya ngô da cheba ni na zo cheba cheba shin ge chi wo cheba shin ge shin ge ji ren do sa ta de sin la so so nya de ba ina ta shu gu jun de na sha da ka wan do ba ina chi pa chi chang re chi pa chi chang ro wa 맞아 년이 주서다 현지 시기서다 참만의 연구를 유나다 단다라고도 소속의 상황 당사다 하고 봐이나 대신다 가르이나 대 바자우디 디 상황 대부 연구로 와
Yeah, so in many texts, then it talks about the presentations of cause and the conditions. So we have to understand the difference between substantial cause and cooperative conditions. So basically, we can link this understanding of cause and conditions to all compounded phenomena, because all compounded phenomena are produced from cause. So there is no compounded phenomena that is not produced from cause. So understanding the presentations of cause and conditions is very important. And since all compounded phenomena are produced from cause, therefore, it definitely talks about, or it always talks about the substantial cause and the cooperative conditions. So these two, substantial cause and cooperative conditions, always come into the picture. So, and when we read a text, and if it talks about the cause and conditions as cause and conditions, then you have to understand when it says substantial cause, then you have to immediately come to your mind that substantial cause is that which mainly produces the result in its substantial continuum, and that is the substantial cause. Substantial cause mainly produces the result in a substantial continuum. So this is one thing that we have to come into our mind when we read about it. And the second thing that we have to understand about substantial cause is that between the nature and attributes, the one mainly produces the nature is the substantial cause. So when we read about substantial cause, then we must have these two understanding about substantial cause. So similarly the cooperative conditions as well. Cooperative conditions is the one that produces the result outside its substantial continuum, not in its substantial continuum. So that is the first understanding. And the second point that we have to remember is that between the nature and attributes is the one that mainly produces the attributes. So when we read a text with this understanding about the presentations of substantial cause and cooperative cause and conditions, then when we read the text, then it's easy to understand, especially the examples are given here as well. Then when another example given in the text, then with this understanding is easier for us to understand the explanations in the text.
년에다 렌지 시즌이 초발되니 제고를 해서와 당무부 인신체라 다시다 나경에보 갔다 나경에보스나 간다 소소 주주디 봐 소소 간사게 제부 랑지지 디비 디시 체 간디나 다 간다 년에다 렌지 시즌이 되니 제고를 해서 다 랑게 주주 마디바 시 주소지 쳬라서 바로와 시 주소지 쳬라서 바다 지힌런다라서 바 간디나베 참마 간다 렌지 년에다 렌지 시즌이 되니 제고를 해서 배는 누구지와라 랑기니레 사베다 텐지시지 줄리소 주지 도마 초발라 때니 제고레 사베 장비기 누구지 두고 말에 사베 메발라 줄리 장비자 누구 제고 말에 세고로와 누구 제고 말다 간다 되니 소고로와 되니 마초바다 제 두고 말에 레베리 제 두고 말에 세고로와
So basically, all external and internal things are necessarily produced in dependence on the collections of substantial cause and cooperative conditions. So internal things is a thing that is included, the thing that is included in the mind stream of a sentient being, a mind stream of a person. that is included in the mind stream of a person. An external thing is thing that is not included within the mind stream of a person. So that is so basically all external and internal things are necessarily, they have to they produce independence on the collections of substantial cause and cooperative conditions. To give an example, sprout is necessarily produced in dependence on the collections of its substantial cause, seed, and cooperative conditions, water and fertilizer. So without the collections of the substantial cause and cooperative conditions, sprout cannot be produced. So seed alone cannot produce sprout. Water and fertilizer alone cannot produce sprout either. So they must depends on the sprout is produced in dependence on the collections of these two, substantial cause and cooperative condition. Yeah, so after we talk about cause, now we are coming to the topic of result. So by again explaining about explain the result again, then explaining the result, then you will have a better understanding of cause and result. So the definitions of result is that which is produced by its cause. So it's quite short, yeah. So the definitions of result is that which is produced by its cause. So you can even make the definitions of result shorter, which is that which is produced. That which is produced, yeah, is the shorter version of shorter definitions of result. Yep. So basically, that which is produced by its cause is necessarily a result. So that which is produced by its cause is necessarily a result. For example, sprout is the result of seed, and smoke is the result of fire. So seed is the cause, and sprout is the result. Lari. Lari. So when result is divided in terms of terminology, there are 5. So what are these 5 divisions? They are ripened result or frictional result, environmental result, causally concordant result, result caused by persons, result of separation. So there are 5 divisions. So the first one is a ripened result or frictional result, and the example for this is 5 contaminated appropriated aggregates. So this is the example.
this never na chata kandaji so this rewde ota leji nami res ngazo njiti onda to shigur ro ta leji nami res so leji nami res tenda leji nami jinde res la ro nami jinde re ngazo khakila nami res de la ro.
Yeah, and frictional result and friction are synonymous. So frictional result and frictions are synonymous. So in our like colloquial, when we talk to others, then for example, if a person fell sick, then we say, oh, this is the fruitions of this is the fruitions of his cause. This is the fruitions of a cause. And so this is in the colloquial. Yeah? So what you have to understand is this is the fruitions of a cause. Then you also understand it as this is the frictional result of a cause. Sorry, this is the fruitions of his karma. Sorry, this is the fruitions of his karma, or this is then you understand it as this is the frictional result of his karma. Sorry.
당아서 다빈 데베스나 간다 랭임바와게 마다빈니 진지린다바 ngaso dini mamboshi kasi tachi shesarwa ta ngaso lari ngol matni shesarwa.
Yeah. So the second type of result is environmental results. So this ripened result and the environmental result, so we have already discussed in Lamrim class already. So now we go through again, then you have a better understanding. So the example for environmental result is the impure world. So, and then in Lamrim text, he also talks about because of negative karma, then one is born in an impure world, for example.
ngaso kasi dabin rebudla ngaso saja zopola jedian rebnami rebude saja zopoda saja dota chema mangboyesa da nila jeni ge diso ngaso dabin rebudese da kasi shusarwa da tu jina mangboywa.
Yeah, so in Lamrim class, then we already discussed about the environmental result. For example, one is born in a place, born in a filthy place, or one is born in a place very rocky, full of thorn bushes, etc. So then we already discussed in Lamrim class.
Ati jela ngaso junting jindebudela ni yores tati kasi langri no yang de ndo sare junting jindebala nyawa junting jindebada shepa junting jindeb ni yorwa.
And next one, causally concordant result, and there are two divisions. Then this we also talk about in Lamrim class already. So the first division is causally concordant experiential result, and the second division is causally concordant behavioral result.
Adambo nyawa junting jindeb sewa de ngaso dendo la checha che tonwa da ne mawa la soba che tonwa ne mawa da kanda ngaso lega kandi jina langdo majuba changja tindi yongdo ati sorwa oda diso de kanda di junting nyawa junting jindebure.
And the example for causally concordant experiential result, like for example, one is born in higher realms, but one have a short lifespan, or one have many sickness, or one, no matter what you do, then it doesn't turn out what you expected.
Ati jila nimba de dirwa shepa junting jindebudrwa. Da shepa junting jindebudre kanda dirwa. Dendo chija so chebala gawa tabaze ngaso ta de shepa junting jindebudre pe duja yorse gorwa. Shepa junting jindebudre ko jindebudre duja de yanja mentine ko ya lengemba nyuage jindebudre sa pe yande duja shibishi yorse gorta de ngaso soso ge nembo tiya da soso cheba cheta ta nga de shepa junting jindebudre soso ge shawa ngemba chi chiya ge jeba shu chenpo legunduna o da tengene tane ngaral pene shepa junting jindebudre shu chenpo yindu da dingi yanja ngi shepa junting jindebudre yanja nami jindebudre shepa junting jindebudre ngi mayuage da dingi nembo de chen tene koro soso chegu ndu sa dile sano ta ngaso deso sheyu de sano dus ta da nyani jenero soso ge yanja pina shawa ngemba ta sinji rangi chama ge liso la neba tendigi pe shiya ge soso sen la deba da tendigi legundina o ta de ya por yemdo ngalpe shepa junting nam jindebudre shepa junting jindebudre pe ngarana shu chenbo ji leje ta jewa ngama le de ngembi wange 당이 신칭이 양장이 셰파 진디진 드베 사야기 다 들링이 먼주방이 단단히 코로 당연히 전에 수속에 간디 쭈둥이들 같이 짝이 사다디 상황이 봤단도 그때 든지 땅도 바이나 다 냐네세 디르다 뭐 냐네세 당연히 냐네 니보들이 가도 그걸 있어 하고야디
And the second division is causally concordant behavioral result. The example is one is born in high realm but like to kill. And previously we also talked about this causally concordant behavioral result is very bad because when we experience this result, then we are going to create the cause for future result again. So we are going to create cause for future result again. Like for example, one likes to kill, then so when this the wish or the intentions very strong in generates in your mind very strongly that you want to do something bad, like for example want to kill, that you're going to hurt not only your own, and you're also going to hurt others body and hurt others life as well, then you have to be careful about it. You have to aware of this, or this is the causally concordant behavioral result, and I have to be careful with it. And if I do not be careful with it, if I'm not careful with it, then I'm going to create a cause for my future results again, ripening results, causally concordant behavioral results again. So I must stop these intentions. I must stop this thought. Then if you're able to think about it when this causally concordant behavioral result arise, then this is called practice.
다 시바된 가서 집이 되어서 집이 챙기더라. 시바 집이 되버때 다들에 간 뒤가 나가서 힘박에 다 힘비게 소위 배두빌로도 다부터 소리 다 간다로와 다 힘박에도 좀 가서 심각을 내가지 다 심각을 내가 좀 된디로도 내가 집어도 저도 간다. 집이 되어서 그러와 집이 챙겨서 당가서 뒤서 이제 발라 팀바 가서 배ሻ는 시고로와 이제 배샤와 다 힘박도 저거 내가 내다
And the fourth division is result caused by persons, and the example is crops achieved through the efforts of farmers. So the farmers they do farm works, and then and through their efforts, then they achieve or they harvest crops, they reap crops.
다 나서 다지 공도 나서 지리 장서 길하자래 드라기 지리 장에서 이 로그에 준세도 나서 다인 데부데 단 데부 신이 봐 많이 비준세 되게 시고로 단 다인 데부서 와데 다인 데부데 뭐 다 가신 것만 시사라 가서 나서 거 뎀바시나를 가진 거네 쉬이 봐 뎀바시나는 거네 가서 란지 뎀바게 대 또지 토빈 데부선다 땡가서 대 간다 데부 미게 따바래 마도 뇌네 측은 제부도 말해 뇌네 측 제비나 제블은 뭐보이 그래 대신이 바이 그래 디시 이거로와 보다 단다데 단다데
전지 인고래
뭔 디시다 제비나 디시다 뭐 poten지 이거로와 이거로와 오 대송자 다 단다데 간다 제분가 안올라 간다데 자인 제베서와데 다 자인 제부데 가서 고딘데 간다 소소 당고데 디렘 고딘데로와 다 같이 뎀바신 시발랑데 때 또지 토비 다 간다 고딘데 간다로와 고딘데.
So fifth is result of separation. So why is it called the result is terminologically divided? Is because the result of separation is not a fully qualified result. So the result of separation, the example is analytical cessation. So analytical cessation it is a truth of cessations, and this truth of cessation is called a result of a truth of the path, or is labeled as result of truth of the path, is because by the power of cultivating the truth of the truth of the path, then truth of cessation is achieved. So because of this, truth of cessation is labeled as the result. However, it is not a qualified or fully qualified result, because cause, result, compounded phenomena, and thing as in functioning thing. So they are synonymous. And so because of this, so truth of cessation is not a fully qualified result, only labeled as a result.
당가서 양자 간단 데블라이네 디징인데 고닝인데 단디 di shwe ruwa.
Mm.
Dan dilin driba nga chi ruwa. Da yanja nga son driba la ina di ji gune ngende de jundi ni ruwa. Jundi ni si yawa. Junji gune ngende de lingji shinde ni si yawa si. Da di shwe ruwa.
So just now, the result is divided in terms of terminology. So besides that, result can be divided in terms of time, can be divided in terms of continuum. So divided in terms of time, there are two divisions. First one is direct result and indirect result. And result is divided in terms of continuum. Then again, there are two. First one, substantial result. Second, cooperative result.
Da ganda wode tiji gune ngende de jundi ni si yawa, jinji gune ngende de lingji shinde ni si yawa le. Da tambo ngende sheba de la, ngwe si jeja de ngende yi tsini si tambo ruwa. Jutile ma ngwe si jeja de, da juti ngende yi tsini kanda de chago ruwa. Katu ko de bolo na, ngwe si jeja ngende yi tsini si na, da jutile ma ngwe si jeja jibin drebe de, da juti yi ngende yi hesi la kanda ruwa. Ngwe si jeba.
So to talk about this one, direct result, the definitions of it is that which is produced directly. So that which is produced directly is the definitions of a direct result. In an easier way to talk about this, to talk about the definitions of a direct result is result that is directly produced by cause. Result that is directly produced by cause is the definitions of a direct result.
Pe shawo de ngazo de nanji towa de me pe shawo de ko dia chidre towa de me nginde re sro towa de me nginde re me le towa chewa chewa na ta pa don ribi shinji ma chi bang se cheba shawa yin bina ngwende se ta ngwende se wa de me le pe me de towa ni parula shenda kinde ribi che ke yo ma ro me de le ngwe se towa chewa sunza ang ju me de le ngwe ribi towa de cheba sunza towa de meti ngende rese ko towa de meti ngende rese.
So an easy example, smoke is the direct result of fire. So this is a easy example, and it is called direct result because smoke is directly produced from the fire without other result intervening between them. So because of this, then smoke is said to be a direct result of fire. So basically, smoke, a direct result is there is nothing in no other result intervening between them. So them refer to the smoke and refer to the fire. So there is no other result intervening between them. Therefore, smoke is said to be the direct result of fire.
Ta degi jela ngazo juni chija de junde ji sini se lo do juni chija de junde ji sini se.
And definitions of an indirect result, that which is produced indirectly.
Apena towa de pishi gi junde re serwa towa de pishi gi junde re pishi le towa chewa na ta pado ndebe ye me jingure se me jine te cheba shawa yimena te junde se la gure se ta kanda me de toyi ngende chado da pishi ngende chado kanda ro me de pishi ngende ro ta pishi dele me chore mele towa chodi ta towa da pishini te parula med che charwa med che chawa sunza ta jundi cha char kanda ngonde ina teni parula che he pa ma shi ba gurwa o de gwa sunza ta kanda towa de jundi re se sugi pishingi jundi rwa towa de pishingi jundi cheba.
For examples, smoke is the indirect result of firewood. And it is called indirect result because smoke arises from firewood with other result, which is fire intervening between them. So it is produced indirectly because there is fire intervening between them. So fire is the direct result of firewood. And from fire, the smoke is produced. Therefore, smoke is the indirect result of firewood. Why? Because in between there is fire. So fire is the other result, the intervening between the firewood and the smoke. Therefore, smoke is said to be the indirect result of firewood. So this smoke cannot be the direct result of firewood is because the fire is intervening between them.
다데 간다 안가서 준데 당연데서 와데 하고 와지로와 다 준데서 와데 준이 지제 다 가싱아서 지시도 시자로와 어디지 다 랑기 지지도 조어 지제데 년리지 신이세 다 다지 고도 년리지 주도 시자로와 다 년리지 주도 시자라 다 년리지 주도 시자디 다 년리지 제부터 안 제부터 담보 년리지 주도 하고 와자디 다 제부터 디스 고대 버렌도와 담보 년리지 주도 다 이슈와데 나시 다 랑기 지지도 조어 지제데 다 년리지 신이세로와
So the next one is definitions of a substantial result. So previously we talked about the substantial cause, right? So we have studied about the substantial cause already. So now when we come to a substantial result and when we look at the definitions, then we will understand it better. So definitions of a substantial result is that which is produced mainly within its own substantial continuum.
앞에 샤오딩 안서 자분들와 다 자분들 range 인진비기 년데 레서와 자이 bom바데 자이 bom바 소지 준진바 저와 자이 bom바 소지 준진바데 되게 준진바데 간다 되게 자분 되게 년레지죠 년레죠 자이 bom바데 인진바 되게 년데 로와 년데 레서와 년데 레서 어디선자 다 년레 진비기 뭐 주네 단 진바데 년레 진바 되게 뭐마 주네 데 심마 자부지 뭐송하러와 자이 공부 뭐송하러와 어디 다 가서 간다 년레스와데 지진도와 야나 뭐도와지 든지 다기 공부 시사러와 뭐도와 다 단다데 가서 지진다 뭐니가 도와 차사러와 지진다 뭐니가 도와러와
So the example is clay pot is the substantial result of its cause, clay. So clay pot is a substantial result and of clay, and clay is the substantial cause. So clay pot is a substantial result and clay is the substantial cause. And clay pot is called a substantial result because nature of the clay becomes the nature of the clay pot in subsequent continuum. So from clay, then it becomes a clay pot. So because of the nature of the clay becomes the nature of the clay pot in subsequent continuums, then the clay pot is said to be the substantial result of its cause, clay. And when just now we talk about substantial cause, then we talk about 2 points, right? 2 things to remember when we read a text and a substantial cause appears. Then one of it is in its substantial continuum. There's the first point, and the second point is that which mainly produces the nature, right? So in its substantial continuum and the nature. So from this, then we can understand that it is called substantial result because nature of the clay becomes the nature of the clay pot in subsequent continuum. So it already covers the continuum, and it also talks about the nature.
아데지다 랑기 지지 많이 받고 제자들 hin지 현대기 생기서와 다 랑기 지지 많이 받고 제자들와 다 제블라 제자로 그래 주스라 제지로 간다로와 이니 제바 이거 간다로와 어디 다 랑기 지지 많이 받고 제자들 hin지 현대기 생기시
And definitions of cooperative result, that which is produced mainly outside its substantial continuum. So that which is produced mainly outside its substantial continuum is the definitions of cooperative result. So cause, we always talk about cause as that which produces. So when we talk about cause, then it's the one sometimes translated as that which produces, producer. So this, so it refers to the cause, and result is always said to be that which is produced, object produced. Yeah. So that when we come to this, then we understand it as cause and result.
앞에는 가서 드시고도 저분데 라주로와 장기지 현지 신데레서와 저분데 다 간다 저분데 라주 장기지 현지 신데레서 장기지 뭐 진에 저분지 뭐 마소와 다 란데 zabun jui lenji chede rese ota dire doa odi tambo.
So example for cooperative result, clay pot is the cooperative result of its cause, a potter. So it is called cooperative result because nature of the potter doesn't become the nature of the clay pot.
Zabun de kanda zankiji lenji shende zankiji lenji zanki de ngazo zanki se ngazo zabun de sonke derwa ta zabun de sonke geda zabun de soji ta yoji towa sawata ta chala mambo yorwa zanki soji pe zabun de soji pe ta towa sewa na boda pe yoji la so ta di mambo yorwa ta tu tsama da lenji shejerwa 그래서 참마다 렌지 제제에 마도 간다 예년 도고요 말에 그러와 예년 세와들 양미랑 게 제지마 로치다 ngoche pa chinge chigure ta zabu sonke ji ka mi de khansar wa zabu sonke de khansar wa ta pina khansar na bote bomba ngo ndo ya ke omar jeji ngo ndo ya ke omar wa jeji ndo ya ke omar bomba ngo la ma cheje ke ngo ya mar bombi ngo ko khansar re bomba de ngazu sura parwa surwa bomba de sure zai bomba de sure zabu sonke de khansa chire de khansa de gi jeji ke cheba shi ma bomba zabu de ke logo mare ngo ke cheba shi ko mare ro ota ko chin de aro tenji shije bomba de da pi da boda ya boda ota dendi soya ge chin ge ro
Yeah, so the clay pot is the cooperative result of a potter. So the potter is the one who make the pot. So potter is a person, and clay pot is a form. So the nature of the potter, who is a person, doesn't become the nature of the clay pot, which is a form. So yeah. So and besides the potter is. Besides, clay pot is the cooperative result of a potter. Clay pot is also a cooperative result of the tools used by the potter, like the machines, etc. So those tools and clay pot is also the cooperative result of those tools as well. And yeah, and this clay pot, it doesn't become the substantial result of those tools or of those of potter, is because is not in the substantial continuum, and it is not the one which is mainly produced. The nature is not produced by them. So the nature of the clay pot is not produced by the potter nor produced by the tools. So potter and those tools are the conditions to make the clay pot a good quality one, a beauty one, a solid one.
Dona kanda dima shigundwa beta kubale nambedarwa beta kubale nambeta jimbale zabun sele sebun soda sabele nyogun jwa tabanan ta rang nele le chui nendese ta so nele roa beta kubada so da kanda roa beta kubale nambo beta kubade ta kanda dichazar nele chade roa beta kubade nele chade 되게 년대의 남부들의 로아 단 진바의 년례시 자분다 년례시 다 세대 다 담보되지 로아 세대 제일 맞죠.
So in brief, substantial result arises from its substantial cause, like woolen cloth arises from wool and thread. So wool and thread are the substantial cause, and woolen cloth is the substantial result, and clay pot arises from clay. Clay is the substantial cause, clay pot is a substantial result.
다간다 세레 세분 다로와 세레 세분 사벨레 녀군 조원하는 다랑 그 년례를 주의 다 년례를 다 다시 군도 지효자 다도 양자지 고단 처제분도와 로와 세레 세분 사벨레 녀군 조원하는 다랑 그 년례를 주인데 버레스 담보치로와
And besides the examples, and gold pot from gold, then gold is a substantial cause, gold pot is a substantial result, sprout from arise from seed, and seed is a substantial cause, and sprout is a substantial result.
다 간다 가서 배도 kubasi와데 다 가서 지다 가서 다 송한을 배 레차 망보 쉬고 송한도 레 클럽 망보 열어와 다 간다 두스 참아 니리 주데 다 kuba 들어와 배도 kuba 들어와 들어와 가서 떼투다 단다 떼투다 그도 창상다 간다 고속이 니리래 요래 그도 떼투 참아가 니리 다 니리데 떼투 그도 참아가 담보배 kuba 질에 띵 레고와 지자 배나 보이나 지자 레 가리나 de kuba chila yang shingi peina yang nyene de shingi pe de leurwa o de de so kanda kuba de la tine kanda ta so so de tu da wo china de nyene de kuba da jicha gi shingi ina shingi peina shingi wa ta heji sheji de da de tu de sonke zota no ta kanda lega chine de so da yoji ta meshila so ba karina khauta de so mambo yoji ro that is some of the Linji Chandua. Some Linji Chagore, or there Tindigi, nearly the Linji Shiji Latin as a third to the conductor to China to start Jumbarua. Or that there to the Langazo, nearly Jugin Table, Linji Shindi Niga San Udua.
Yeah. So then this example, like a cloth, like the clothes we wear and the pants that we wear, and many pieces of cloth sell in the shops. Then their substantial cause is thread, or you can say is cotton. And so threads or cottons are the substantial cause for a piece of cloth. Or a piece of cloth, or a pairs of pants. Then their cooperative conditions is, like for example, the workers in the factory, or the machines, or needles, etc. Then those are cooperative conditions for the cloth.
Oh, that the song of the Jindy Rapa, the song of the Koya boy chow, the tending in Aja, the char. Hako, the tended char hako, the Tomban Janda Sabo Hako Garwa. Or that Jundi Tanda, the Suka Jundi Raparwa. Long as a pay Jundi Rapa Shudirwa. That is a Rapa as when is a Hako and when is a Jundi Rapa and Rodan Hako, Mazo Tetu China, Tetu the pay, so can't pay that Jundi Rapa Hako, Rapa de Peda Copa Kakela Mateba Sonke, the Kakela Mateba Tetu the Tendishi Jumres, that the Majumba Hakurata. Bela Mateba, Kubala Mateba, Tetu Sonke, then this Kanjila Mateba, Tetu the Tendiji, Jan Shojona was Yuan for Yomara. Or that Tendigi Salon Town, the Tepa Jundi Rapa, the Jundi Naja Tendi, or Jundi, Tendi the Pa, a Salon Town, the Telepa, Char, take on the Tendi Chamotula Salon Leodi, the Hakodi, then when it's a Tomban Jetendi. Liti Seboshi Werwa. Or that the gay chamber chower, not to Jundi saw the big gay chamber.
Yeah, so the presentations of cause and effect is a cause and a result is very important, because through the easy example that we give just now, like for example a piece of cloth, then it comes from threads or comes from cotton, right? So without depending on threads, without depending on the workers, etc., then there is no pants, right? There's no t-shirts, right? So it doesn't come about without depending on them. So from this example, then we can, when we understand the presentations of cause and effect better, then even though now the example given is very coarse, it's very easy to understand. However, when we think further, then we will be able to understand dependent arising. It talks about dependent arising, and when we understand dependent arising further, then we will be able to understand the meaning of emptiness. Therefore, cause and effect is said to be very important to understand.
Tati Jelma Tankeda, Zanki Sindua, Tankeda, Zankeda, Sengata, Savin Debabo, Chuli, Solar Rinju, Tena Yungures, Ten Jungures Roa, Linji Shichi, Linji Shindi, Taji Khan, so that Nindi, Savin Chua, Kanda Nindi Shiroa, Taye, Beda Kubata, Njimba, Se, sabe the so the nilero this is my nilele chui ta kan de number the ninde jimbar shi zabu the ninde na sele shi sebu the ninde sabe shi nyugo the ninde this is my ninde chirwa da lenji shende de da lenji sheje da tangke ta tangke zangke zaba za songge zama songke de senga senga dewa se songke ta kan da se kumba songke 다 사빈 대바보 다 이 사빈의 니네로와 다다 사빈 대바보다 신호 사빈 대바보다 그런 진신게 들어와 진신게 지지로와 오다도 저 참아 다 추데 리솔에 림바 이 중앙에 대간다 렌지 신데 렌지 시지를 쉰다 렌지 신데를 해서 거와 다도 참아로와
So the first sentence talks about the substantial results and the substantial cause. So woolen cloth is a substantial result. Clay pot, gold pot, sprout, they are substantial result, and their substantial cause is wood and thread, clay, gold, and seed. Then the cooperative result arises from cooperative condition, like those referring to woolen cloth, clay pot, gold pot, and sprout. So they gradually arise from their cooperative conditions, like weaver, potter, goldsmith, farmer, or water and fertilizer. So weaver is the cooperative conditions for woolen cloth, potter is the cooperative conditions for its cooperative result, clay pot, etc.
당이 저놈들 배 가두바 휴구나 간다데 인고치 데보레 남베세와데 니레 진데보레 렌지 신데 니가레와 남베테
니랭기 데보
와 남베테 년데레 렌지 신데레스 와 오다디 시바치고 저놈다 이마테 티서 다던다 같한던 로사르 남베테 년데레스 렌지 신데레스
So to further summarize it, woolen cloth is the substantial result, and it is also a cooperative result. So woolen cloth is a substantial result, and it is also a cooperative result.
Adi nambade nende condition dogoyores. Hinji shende candidates, tangi chonal tipa to what and roa, tangi teacher, and that teacher de. Roa, number de Nindi was roa, Nindi res. Nindi sunza, da cola nilage yogroa. Oh, da number de Hinji shende roa, Hinji shende the cola linge yogroa. Or that de number de Nindi da Hinji shende niga roas. That de niga imi junse carresta, that chance to sheda.
남부대 그 당선지 지대 니가
렌데다 렌지 신데 레레니 비준세 레레니 비준세 가르레스
제제 니뱅김세
남부대 렌녜레 렌데 레스 렌지 신데 레스 다 렌지 신데 레 렌데 레스 다 렌지 신데 레스 와다 가르치네 렌지 신데 레스 로아 렌데 레스나 가르치네 렌데 레스 단이 취저를 대단다로 로아
So yeah. So we have already. So now I ask you questions. Something that we have just talked about. So this woolen cloth is a substantial result, and this woolen cloth is also a cooperative result. And woolen cloth is a substantial result. Since it is a substantial result, there is a substantial cause, right? And since woolen cloth is a cooperative result, there is a cooperative conditions, right? So now you tell me the reason why woolen cloth is the substantial result and why woolen cloth is a cooperative result. The reason why they are the substantial result and cooperative result.
They are in one nature.
What is one in the reason for each of them? So why woolen cloth is a substantial result? Why, and the reason why a woolen cloth is a cooperative result? You say
they have the same nature. They are both empty. They're both empty in themselves.
Both empty in themselves. Both empty in themselves.
They're both empty of inherent existence.
Oh, okay. So any kan yin na kaisna teni ngo ji resa ini de rangxingi juba tongba res
and the number de nyele de res ko nyele de kar res number de lenji shende res ko la lenji shende ge lenji shende kar res ta ding es so sing and the thought sabu chu samar
so yeah so I rephrase my questions. So what is as we say woolen cloth is a substantial result, right? So since it is a substantial result, there is a substantial cause, right? So what is a substantial cause? Identify the substantial cause. And similar to this cooperative result, and identify the cooperative condition.
I tried thinking woolen cloth, the substantial cause is the wool because it grown between it is continuum, its own substantial continuum, which is a wool. From wool become woolen cloth, and it is of same nature, wool, woolen cloth. So this is substantial cause. Wool is a substantial cause for woolen cloth because it's a continuation of same substantial continuum and it's of same nature.
Yeah, any nyelende Paris nyelende Paris kaisna zegun du yores zegun du dogu yores ani ngo ji ba jes
ta nyele de peshte nyele de peshte
in lenji chenge de
lenji shende
and how about woolen cloth is the cooperative result? Then since it is a cooperative result, there is a cooperative conditions, right? So identify the cooperative condition.
Someone else? Yes.
Right. The cooperative is the cooperative result of the weaver and the tools are used to make it.
So any len지情的汤圆当 any 的有些点说比较大点说汤圆比较大
de o de daris ro da number de nyele jinde bu res nyele jinde bu yibe junse de karasna da kola nyele pe da kubale zeji chumbi teni de bu sunza da nyele jinde bu res ro pe da kubage nyele jinde bu da lenji shende yibe junse de da number tangke yoji la soba de sugi lenji shejele teni chungwa sunza da lenji shende res da number de lenji shende da nyele jinde bu niga yibe junse de 다 창조 단다 다다 대가는 로바 대치로와 다 딘디스로와 다 딘디스 다 양장이 좋아데 세보 유한체도 나서 에로와 인데 자분데 로와 자이 봉바데 자분데 간다 니레 진데보레 렌지 신데레스 다 자분데 니레 진데보 인비 준세 렌지 신데 니가레스 로와 다이 군드시바 나시 다 자분데 니레 진데보레 렌지 신데레 다 자분데게 니레지 조데 가레 니레 조 가리게 데버레 렌지 신데 가리게 렌지 시체 가리게 데버레스 다 양자지 시다다 다 담보다 하고서 야고 주스
Yeah, that is right. I say the woolen cloth is the result of the substantial cause because it comes from wool and threads in the substantial in substantial continuum, and the woolen cloth is a cooperative result of its cooperative conditions. For example, weaver. So you are right. So, and now to ask you the second questions. The clay pot. So clay pot is a substantial result and it is also a cooperative result. So identify the substantial cause and the cooperative conditions. Yeah,
Still here?
Yeah.
Can I try? Yeah.
Yeah, please.
The substantial cause is the clay, and the cooperative result is it?
Cooperative condition.
Cooperative conditions is the bottle, clay bottle.
That's all. So ini nyelen de jimba re, lenji chingen de zange re.
그래서
Nyelendi Zakere. Nyelendi Jimbare, Lenji Chegende Zakere.
Oh, that in this row.
Yeah, that's correct.
That was somebody roa. To somebody roa. That kanda Siji Pumbade. Siji Pumbade, Nyelejin de Bore, Lenji Shende Res roa. That Nyelej Siji Pumbade, Lenji Shende, Nyelej de Bores roa. Or that is Sonsa, that Nyelejin de Sonsa Nene Karigin de Bore, Lenji Shiji. Debusonza Lenji Shiji Karigi, Lenji Shenderes, what that day Anja Ching is Jilash.
And the third question is gold pot. So gold pot is a substantial result, and it is also a cooperative result. Since it is a substantial result, so what is its substantial cause? And since it is a cooperative result, what is its cooperative condition? So same questions. So identify the substantial cause and cooperative condition.
Nobody? Can anyone? To save time, gold pot. So gold is a substantial cause for the gold pot, which is a substantial result. Whereas maker of this person can be a pot maker is a cooperative cause for gold pot. Yep.
That's all. Yeah. Ini nyelen di series kisah. Nyelen di series lenji chengen di kaza pomba songe.
Oh, that is a chance of
Yeah, that's right.
That temperature machisroa. That Nili Linchi red temperature machisroa. That day, also Zani did not come back to sheet carresta, which was to Zani Kamba and Tambo Toshi the car is that Tambo Digilatro.
Toshi said it.
Kamba
Toshi.
Toshi Zali Denano.
Kamba Toshira.
Which Tambo carrest.
Toshira. That's all. Yeah, so you understand. So don't forget. Don't forget what you understand. What you understand. So another questions to ask you is, in this world, what is the highest? Sorry, kamba toshi roa
Tosan Toshi Manshit.
Because mangshi de.
Tosan Toshi the Kamba Zalino come Tosan Mama Jura.
Tosa Mama kamba toshi there. Tobarwa. Toshi is it? Yeah.
Tosan Toshi, that Tosan washing out the Chintawina, that combat Toshi Marwa.
Jingbo Marwa is a Jingshu de Marwa. Toshi de Ra.
Rina Torua. Rinshi Toshi Drota. Tosa Toshi the Bay. Kanzalino Pen combat Toshi.
So yeah. So another question is, what is the highest house in the world?
Tosa Toshi the Hago marriage. Malaysia Tinta the combat Toshi Atambo Logo Marwa. Toba Shiba Naba to one Mandosa Mare. Tambo Yura combat Tosa Toshi.
So yeah. So what is the tallest building in the world?
Tallest building in the world has gone in
I also
in Dubai.
Is it still Dubai? I don't know.
In Thailand.
Malaysia
China is going to be.
Malaysia Twin Tower.
Malaysia no more.
Mare.
Oh, that Tambo Shishasta.
Yeah. So
yeah,
so Malaysia Twin Tower is not the tallest, right? So what is the tallest?
The tallest tower in the world is the one that you think is the tallest in your mind.
What? Sorry again.
Out of context.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, is a question Gisela asked. Yeah. So, Dr. Go, sorry, you mentioned.
No, I said eventually you believe what is the tallest. I can say Twin Tower. You can say Dubai. You can say Taiwan. So the tallest tower in your mind is the one that you perceive as the tallest.
Ini kasa yang kamu toshi kangin ba ina yang susu di same lah ini kang ichi cewa di toshi resa.
이시자 말레이시아 팀타워 저 이시 도시 이시치는 도시래요. 내가 semua di
Yeah. So however, that is yeah. So you believe Twin Tower is the tallest building, but the Twin Tower is not, in fact, the tallest building, right, in the world. I mean.
No more.
Yeah. So you think it is the tallest, but does it make it a tallest?
No, sorry. Sheila, every day they are building high tower. We lost count which is the highest.
Can I try?
Yep.
Sheila, the tallest building now is the New Century Global Center in Chengdu, in China. Previously was the Dubai airport.
Oh. 啱啱有啲Dubai 嘅其實南trang嘅你等到成都啦你看不透去的成都啦有的是。
呀，大这样子，大一难的事了哇，但对他们来时代是不大，但对我是啥了哇，知道是呢。
ini di kasa jiwa di tang yi gyumsen di kari na konda.
Jiwa di tang yi gyumsen di chang sa temba ma jia. Kamba toshi de nyene jin rebu reese, lingchi shende reese kamba toshi de. Oh.
Can I try?
Kamba toshi de?
Oh, kamba toshi de nyene jin rebu re, lingchi shende re. Da nyene jin rebu sonsa de nyene kar reese. Lingchi shende sonsa de lingchi shende kar reese. Da chang sa temba ma jia nge. Ngene shena zangli ki kamba toshi de chang sa khatu loa gore, chang sa laba nalo zangli kanga de chang sa 토세 가지에 라바나는 요라 안 그러시나 모베나는 요라 다들어야 무도다 지나
yeah so
and the Caroline lad Risha's thing way is ina
yeah so if what Caroline said is in fact I said that the building the tallest building is in Chengdu then so the reason why I'm asking this is because the tallest building, for example, the tallest building in Chengdu, then it is a substantial result and it is a cooperative result as well. Then it has its cooperative conditions and substantial costs. So the reason of asking this question is just to make sure that we understand the example and then to keep the example or the understanding in our mind better. So in fact, we can tell the tallest building in the world, right? Because the information is all in your hand, which is your mobile phone.
Sheila, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sheila,
oh, that's what so it's still a question, yeah. So what is the substantial cost of the tallest building and in the world, and what is the cooperative conditions of the tallest building in the world?
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
The substantial cost is concrete and steel, and the cooperative cost would be the workmen.
So nyelen di kasa di kasa damza di ro isla. Damba se di kamba gi nyelen di any di damza tang any di jia dian zuo yu ro. Any di linji qingye na di lega qingye dian zuo.
Oh, that the talent is that kamba de nga so ni be cha gua ji de chang de temba ma ji che de kamba dang ni non toshi de nyelen ji de bres de so za ko linji she ko nyelen ji yo ko nyelen de kar ko la linji she ji jo ko kar linji ji kar da da de ni da dan ji su su wa o de da nyelen so da linji she de ni ga kan da nyelen ji de bu linji she de ni ga res ko da yi bi jun sen de re da da temba ma ji she de ko combat toshi the temba jig martin ya chance combat take the kadula mudosi
yeah, so the purpose of that is correct. So the purpose of asking these questions is so that something that we can relate to, and then we can say we can say it directly, so without checking our phone or something. However, it seems like not all of us understand know what is the tallest building in the world. So the intention is
answer that, Ken?
yes, that is correct.
I just had a quick look at Google. As at September 2021, the tallest building is the Burj Hotel in Dubai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so tanda ini di kaba ini di daji chene tanda kama toshu di Dubai la yoresa Burj in Dubai.
China lose. Divide over.
Yeah. So
다디 가르레스다 코란다가 로사스 다단디 다 컴바 소야기 주차 단 단제다 짜도서도 배 년례시 다 컴바 성케 에다 미르서 사마 다 렌지 시제로와 다딘디스 다가 나서 다단디스로.
Yeah, so the purpose of asking the questions is since the Burj in Dubai, that is the tallest building in the world, and it is a substantial result, and it is a cooperative result as well. So since it is a substantial result, so there must exist a substantial cost, and since it is a cooperative result, there must exist cooperative conditions. So as what Hui mentioned just now, so the concrete, steel, etc., those are the substantial costs, and workmen's, etc., then they are the cooperative conditions.
그래서 랑사 인지 레드 마제도 인지가 야사 테스다 당고.
La 인지
야사 테스다 저한테.
가리지네 이제라 인지 레.
English 나 야사 테스다 당고 랑사 코르스 렌제 모델 English.
Yeah, so just now when I ask you the questions, and you all cannot give me the answer right away, right? So probably my I understand, my English is better than yours, so I understand better than yours.
I can ask a question about terminology. Geshila, last week Geshila talked about at one time there's a definition. Condition is something that assists the cause to produce a result. So now this week terminology for different type of cause, you have substantial cause, cooperative condition, and then you have direct cause, indirect cause. Why is when we come to cooperative, we don't use cooperative cause, but we use cooperative condition. Whereas indirect cause, the definition is indirectly produced. Why we can use the word cause and not indirect condition? Thank you.
That's okay, Shala. Any difference change your any also the because nyeleng gyu da tenji chigen segi yorwa. Any the karijine tenji chigen kaza tenji chigen segi yore karijine tenji chigyu segi yomare. De tiwa tangbo. Any niba de gyu segi yorwa. Gyu se de karijine gyugen de segi yomare sa.
지난 가서 주다 찐다 집어래 지나 그거 주이나 찐이 저거래 찐이나 주인 거래 그거
네 지토네로
뭐 찐토나 주이나 찐 거래 찐이나 주인 거래 이 앞에 소소소소 앞에 까도지 코를 레가리요래 레가리요 왔습니다 맞아 주드나 야 만다와치 이거 간다 지다로와 주나 찐 거래 찐나 주인 거래 지다 주인 거래 야 찐다 가서 렌치 시지에서 왔다 야 년리지 주어서 둘이 쳐봐 용거래 그러와 지에서 왔다 가서 배에다 다시 몽부지 시사래 배 로봇 진기 조신기다 보다 로봇 수수가 내가 간디지 제고요나와 내가 간디 제고나 내가 시자데 내가 시자라고 보다 당보도 시자데 미치 현다지 뒤에서나 다들이야 수수가 배 조听住 야 도보나고 로봇 진기 다도 수치 구로와 오다도 소데 로봇 진기 소데 가서 렌지시지 내가 간디나 니가라 때와치 유나 단 데부도 야부치 두그레스 데 니가 메바이나 주다 조 니가 메바이나 데 데부 피스토바지 치 두고 말해서 데 가서 사비 니걸 빼šan다 대하러 주다 진출리 소 집바리고 가서 주주서데 니주서데 소도 베 맞지 주 타리래 기자시고 리부트다 주스 마 타리래 기자시고 주주 당이 주서와데 이다 주임바 지방아래 주주 저래 응의주 저래스 그러와 다 준데도 레브레 응스 레브데 레브레 레데 코로 야 방린다 부치여스코
Yeah, so in general, when we talk about cause and condition, in general, yeah. So in general, cause and conditions are synonymous. So whatever is a cause is necessarily a conditions, and whatever is a conditions is necessarily a cause. So however, they have their own functions in the given context. So we say just now cooperative conditions, yeah. So cooperative conditions is you can say is the assistance, is the helpers, the one assists, that which assists. So the one who assists a cause, and then it gives rise or it produce a good result, or it produce excellent result or a good result. So that is why it is called cooperative conditions. In general, they are not they are pervasive. One is necessarily the another. So however, they have their own functions in a given context. And direct cause, indirect cause. So direct cause is also a cause, indirect cause is also a cause. So why is it called direct and indirect? Is because between the distance from the result, one is nearer, one is the distance between the one is called direct result, another one is called indirect result. They are called in that way based on the distance from the result.
저런들 pen 로종 지역이 시장하고 니반하고 저 창나들 열에서 먼저 라리 제모라 저런들 로종 지역이 시자 소속배 시자리 열에서 저 시자로부터 와 다 로종 지역이 배 로종 야부 희약이 니바 주자로부터 창나들 열에서 와 열에 주자의 창나들 열에 야 들려야 로바 징게지면은 대처럼데 로종이 야진도 두고요 말해
로바 징게디로
로바 징게 징데 매바이나 징데 매바이나 대 야야지 야부진도 두고요 말해 시자 연안도 두고 말해 연은 아주 사빈 강보라 추치 마트바다 지바지장래 사빈디 누구지야게 사빈디 열데 지 출리 마트나 거의 열데로 열에마도 누구지야게 용거야 말해 누구지가 말해 콜라 콜 지가 말해 때가 나지 정한테 먼저 라리에 슌칭분들에 로종 지야 냐네 지야 시작 강가데 열에서 정하더라 열이 들려야 찐찐케지 구글에서 찐찐케지 매바이나 때 정한테 야지 로고 말에 시야 깔래 가고 열에서 딘디 소다 가서 찐에서 와도 딘디지에서 와 현지 시진에서 와도 보다 개개기 지 로종지 티바이나 조펜지 최도도 속에 펜시 돌린지 딘디지네 찐도 왕게 소속이 시자데야 니바 들파 찐친에 돼야 신받아 하고야 딘디지 지고여서 간단하서 렌지 시진에서 와도
Yeah, so it's like we have the root cause to study text, like for example, Lamrim text. So we have the root cause to study Lamrim text. Though we have the root cause to study Lamrim text, if we do not have the assistance, if we do not have the helpers, then even though we have the root cause to study a text, without it, then we are not going. There is no improvement, and it will be very difficult for us to understand the text as well. So, like for example, now our Dharma friends through discussions, then we understand it better, right? So we need such conditions or the helpers or assistants. Without that, though you have root cause, it is very difficult for us to understand a text, like for example, Lamrim. So similarly, a seed, it has it has the ability or potential. Potential, yeah. It has a potency to give rise to sprout. Seed has the potency to give rise to the result sprout, but without the assistance, without helpers, without the conditions. So helpers or assistants are the conditions, yeah. So without the conditions, it cannot produce seed, cannot produce a result sprout.
어디지로 야야
Do you study?
다딩 안서 간다 주던 리브스와데 주당 안서 준 리브스 무슨 같은데 지바르다 즉 안서 주던 리브 된다 지바르스와
규에당 ngoboro.
저래 지천에 주 무슨 리브스 같은데 지바르 된지 딱 가지 주셔서와 juda ngabun drib sung tenchi bare ta hichi la pha jai kala roa hichi la pha jawdi te ngawa chago roa ngawa chago re
the 工作店有两几当下了意思啦。
我店有那这个店有了的。
店呢老师。
我觉得这不了七八开始呢，店里tenchi bare也是吧。那看到我本把的让给这边让给主人这不的，让给这边给主人是吧？的主人。
的必须的有什么的生的。
的没那的开嘛，但那你老板是那些路是吧？
来说。Yeah. So in general, cause, result, and thing. So thing as in a functioning thing. So cause, result, thing are synonymous. So in general, however, if you link it to a basis or when it has in relation to a basis, then they are contradictory.
我的身上，当你讲这被我这实际了下子呢，被决计了把小的我话是没得让你对一个决定的这不嘛，没得多个决定的这不嘛话，对这不嘛话，没得对于决定的这不嘛的是，多的每个这不的就嘛的是，但实际了叫的决定搞多啊，多的话，没得让你多个决定的对这不嘛话，对这不嘛话。我这不嘛的，多的让给就没这不的，没这不的就嘛了，没这不嘛了。我听讲的是，一进了拍照的觉得这比你搞过的，这当觉得我本这不送个等到几百人是。
Yeah. So in general, cause and result and thing are synonymous. So, and however, if you link it to a basis or in relation to a basis, then cause and result, then they are contradictory. For example, fire is the cause of smoke, not the result of that smoke. Similarly, smoke is the result of fire, not the cause of that fire. So this is how, this is why it says in relation to a basis, then cause and result are contradictory. Like for example, the first one, fire is the cause of smoke. Yeah, it is a cause of smoke. However, it is not the result of that smoke. So smoke is the result of fire and then not the cause of that fire.
对吧？我的是，当你从这背下呢，我这中国本这不是个等到几百人不就是的话，我这学个亚洲，其实结巴个第三的，其实结巴亚洲第三的话，他其实结巴的，其实结巴个第三亚洲的酒嘞，这不嘞，我不认识吧？他酒的这不你个认识。但亚洲的酒因为军事搞的认识，但我从这主要当是吧？亚洲的酒因为军事搞的认识。
So, thinking the president distinguished it.
我都就是话，我都去我其实第三学个其实结巴，可不是第三我都的就是也是，就是送就因把送啥，搞了个就是也是。
Yeah. So to ask your questions, so as it just now I mentioned that cause, result, and thing they are synonymous, right? So the question is 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. is a cause, and it is also a result. So since it is a cause of what? And it is a result, and it is the result of what?
8 a.m. is the result of 7:59, and is the cause for 801.
So, any 그래서 주소 tuyển 까마 납주 나고기 대부제 주소 개발돼. Any 디 주소 개당 까마 지 기규레스.
오야. 다때 야부 슈빌로스 멘탄 야불로스.
Yeah, well said.
다래. 다 가서 준 레브니든 가고도 와. 다 망가 들다 주든 레브 단다 지레서. 다 야부 슈빌로스로 와.
Yeah, so yeah, well said, because through this this example, then it shows that 8 a.m. is also a cause, it is also a result.
신다 강가를 두 상단에 잘 집어다. 다 신다 참말은 같은 디지기 최 강가를 두 상단에 잘 집어지장을 했고. 와.
Yeah, so this applies to all compounded phenomena. Yeah, so the way it applies is exactly the same for all composite phenomena.
Can I clarify this point? If the clock is the cause for 801, but in terms of cause and effect, the cause ceases at the very same moment the result appears. So how can 8 o'clock be the cause of 801? This is my question.
How can it be there? Sorry.
Cause of 801. My argument is this: is that the cause ceases only then the result is produced, according to dependent arising. So it ceases at the very same moment, simultaneously. At the very same moment, the result appears. Without that situation, the cause cannot produce a result, neither can it vice versa. So my question is, how, since the cause and the result are simultaneous, the cause ceases and the result appears. So how can one be the cause of another, which comes after? Clarify this point. I hope you can understand what I say.
Yeah.
Because my understanding is cause and effect happens simultaneously. When the cause ceases, the effect appears at the very same instant. That is my point. Yeah, which is the question I asked last week.
That's all. Yeah. 그래서 계실라 아니 대 주주 개발이나 대 주주 개당 까마지 까마지의 교로와 주주 개발 아니 주주 그래서 주주 개당 까마지의 교레스 아니 교 그래서 그래서 교 가바당 대부 중화대 대 뒤지로 하실라 뒤지라 아니 대 용기로와 아니 대 교대 가바당 대부대 중화 뒤지기나 아니 디 가서 디 주소 계단 까마지 기 교관의 제도에서
가르세
주소 계단 까마지 교관의 제도에서
제다 까마지게
주소 계단 까마지 기 교관의 제도에서 그래서 데 가바로 교대 가차로 교대 가바
제 제다 까마지도 또 까마지 두바다 간다 까마지 코랑 그 주치세 제바든 가고 그래서 이제 까마지다 주치 제다 까마지 레바다 다 까마지 코랑 그주 까마지도 주치 고바는 거 주로와 주치 고바는 거 주로와 주치 고바는 거 주로와 주치 고비게 차히지 두로와 주치 고바게 차히지 두디 당가지 두디 때 두바다 주치 제방 가바니 다 뒤냐로와
두바당
치치 고바게 까마치 두바다 치치 제방 가바 디냐로와
주주게 가바당 주주 까마치데 두바당 된지로 뒤지래
뒤지라 두노라 뒤지라
뒤지나 당 공기 대화한데 뒤지나 근데 간디 가서양 이 가서 규디 간디 제도에서 주주게 바디
거기 치치 제바다 당봉위들 내려와 이제 제바 당보 치치응을 내네 치치응을 제바 들려야 당가더니 때 치치 고바도 마 당가 들 만도고라 고만 튀고라 마도
차시
차시도 마들 튀르와 주치네 데 들이 주치는 마 진고 그래서 당 가서 pen 집바래 가서 로 당가야 누야 들어와 로 당가 누야 돼 주다가를 내고라
그래서 공기 대화에는 데 교가기로 교가와에나 데 대부 간데 그래서 교가와에나 데 가비 교데 간데 대부 데 게투게에서
뭔가 차디 콘 레부제 사람에서 뭔가 창조직이 레부제고요 마다 저든 가바데 레부제 제고래 레부제 제고리 저든 가는 거라면서 레부드 저든 가 차니 제란 레부제 제고요 말이스고
제라 말어
제라 말이 저든 가 차나 제란 레부제야 말어 저든 가 차나 레부드 제우디 저든 가바 디냐레 코 저디 레부 디지야기 제제네 된 레부드 두바다 된 저데 가노 거래 가서 사빈지라 빼샤나 사빈디기 누구도 제우디 사빈디기 닝보데 가차라 나사 양자 누구 제기 닝보 대가로 가차라
닝보데 데 가차라
누구 제기 닝보 가차라 데
양자기 이야기 닝보로
양자 지야 요마로 닝보 요마로 딘다 버 집바르 간다
그래서 기야기 닝보데 가차라
닝보 가차라 누구 제 차디 뜻 양자 누구 제기 닝보든 가차라 양자 누구 제야 요마로 거라 Oh, they didn't keep it.
That's all. Yep. So yeah. So how to say? Yeah. So using the time is a bit difficult. Yeah. So I just Kishala also mentioned about the seed and sprout example as well. So yeah. So when the seed produce the result, then at simultaneously the seed lost the potency to give rise to result again, or to give rise to the sprout again. So 가서 가서 가비 교이나 대부대 게토를 왜세 공기 저와다 조어디래
가 찬주 죽인 레브지야요 말에.
가 차교이나
가 찬주 죽인 레브지야요 말에. 저데 가 레브드 제바다 증가바니 뒤냥바. 뒤냥레고 뒤냥레 마도 데 그런 말와 데 간다. 증가 찬주 죽인 레브지야요 말에스고.
가 창교난 교 가바데 로하로
데 로하리스. 레브드 제바다 증가바 뒤냥바 지바레마 간다. 나서 레브 마칭이나 저든가
Yeah, so cessations of cause and productions of result are simultaneous. So it's not about a seed that is already ceased, then give rise to its result. A seed already ceased cannot produce a result anymore. So only the productions. Only the cessation of the cause and the productions of result are simultaneous. Then only such can produce a because 규가바당 대부 기와대 뒤지기나 아니 대부 신의 용토기로 뒤냠바 뒤냠바 아니 뒤냠바이나 신의 대부 대기토기로
뒤냠바는 신의 말이데 레브드 제바데 저든 가바니 뒤냠바레스고
그래서 productions of cessations of cause and productions of result are simultaneous. So it's not subsequent.
So
it's just like a scale. So when you press one side, then another one goes up. So it is simultaneous in that sense. So a cause ceased simultaneously with a cessations of cause and already a cause already ceased. So it's different here. A cessation of cause and a cause already ceased is two different things. So cessations of cause and productions of result are simultaneous. However, a cause already ceased cannot produce result anymore.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on. So.
Thank you. Da kandang achida de lojong de ngaso lori ki lojong de ta jelen zin de chima de yo mariswa. De yo marwa. Da chama kanda lojo huta bata shiban na re pe shida gabu chusrwa. Ta jelen zin de chima de yo mar chi de ngas ta chi pa chi dole da ba ti ti. Jida ngaso ti ze lojong de chabu de lojong chabu de yinji mi ji jang gore srwa. Lojong chabu de ma jang ba ina te ya jin do ya yo maris. Nanso le labo tanja jana yajin roya yo mares roa le labo le yajin roya ke yo marwa nanso tambo jandi pe chabo chi machine jo chi de anja muntine jango de so tanda ha ko de yajin ro gores da tanda nanso jango muntine duse nanso lonse rimba ke jango de yaji jacha jan ro sares ko langsa soso ge jidan salon yabo tanda ha ko gores yaji shibun ro sares roa o de sonza nanso tizen chabo dina 슈진에 장고에 되게 정보래 차보도 마장 바이나 대야지 지 좋아요 말스 얘하고 짠자잖아 야지 좋아요 말아 다 된 거네 들어와
Yeah. So next class is the last class for this subject. So Jose, we're going to have discussions, questions and answer. So I'm very pleased with all your efforts, the efforts that you put in studying this text. So especially when we study those difficult topic or those difficult subject is something that we must study. because through studying the difficult subjects or topics, then we persevere, and we persevere throughout the learning process, then we will improve. We will be improved from where we started. And if we all the time study the easy topic, easy subjects, then we are not going to improve from where we are. So if you think about it, in fact, I say if we compare to where we started, then you can see the improvement.
저는 벨로조 두서 방리지 정원데 당원에서 배 쇼버 야보 차디르스와 야지 쇼버 다 문티네 들자원에 가서 네 학고 그랬어와 당가서 지당 가서 야지 버르버르랑 가서 라반 주전 야 레즈 주전 지와이나 네 야지 또 가고 그랬어와 예 가서 나지도 배여러와 간다 야샤라가 자사바나 시센지 시야야 가서
알레요.
Dinashi China these Kale cover is Roa, Kale cover Nanso to Spanish in a Muntin Children Rakro Yomars, Sawani and Dagmars Roa. Anganzo, John Bellori, the Tendici, and Yapuji Janore, that jail and also Saint you say about the Chitudi, that Chonas Mamuji, let her channels. Saint you say about Chile with the Chonas the Lori, the Apu Jan Sasunda, let her show no grace.
Yeah. So yeah, if we persist throughout the learning process in this order, then definitely we will see the improvement. So if we study in such a way that there is a proverbs is like you hold it and then you grab it and then you let go of it. You grab it and then you let go of it. Then such proverb, what it means is you are not going to see the improvement if you study and then relax, study and then relax. So just like the example that I've mentioned before, not sure you all still remember or not, is about the yak, the yeti and the groundhogs. So a groundhog is like the rat-like animals, rat or mouse-like animals. So I'm not sure you all still remember the examples or not. So what it means is the same. So so after we go through this Loric awareness and knowers, and when we come to next subject, mind and mental factors, then we will find it easier to understand.
Sinju Sembada, Lori so the kitchen was shooting the word, that the Kanda, Manso Pelojon to Kawaina Tona shooting the De Consa Jungle Jumbuchuge, that since you the Lori the sort of missy jungle, some Chukana, Roa.
Lori and Sim Johnson,
what says you sort that the sort of missy jungle sin. That is a kitchen was Chago, that since you Sembada, Jelanazo, Unsitsan Jel was Roa.
Yeah, so Loric and mind and mental factors, which is the next subject that we are going to discuss. These these subjects are very important, and even historians, the Dalai Lamas, always advise us to study and pay attention to Loric and mind and mental factors.
Lojon Tebada Niebada, Susu Salon Canditobana Tama Nazo Chicken Yanilan Ruyere, Roa, Susuki Geta San, Geta Jansu Tipase, Jansu Chitiba Tiba Kandaya, Jansu Magan Bado Nazo, the Chitiba Zog Marisevora. Tangaso Pen, Yamarila, the Nichisi need Susuke, Geta the when Jansu Tiba Nachi Roa, Love Chimbu Zoya Menjosh. Manzo lunga tije ba na suso zoya menje tenji ge tsala chimba sa de reswa manzo de namche pe soso ge lojo chia da sena nyale chagu yore kanda genda nyam de lewe yore ro ma se nyamle sena pha loga chi da manzo lojo sena loga chi ki mare swa ye tsawan ne mare ro manzo sanji ge chue tra manzo lojo chi na nyale da garon lu yore manzo che gong ge nyale njogong ge nyale pe nyale sole rimba mambo yore wa disu tenji du yore 다 참아 간당아서 핀지 참아 가서 핀지 지도 핀지 지기 지도 간다 야부 차고 참아로 핀지 지기 간다로 지니 뭐 디선자 대 참아 간다 계자나도 사야 야부시라 인고로와 어디 참아게 다 간다 소소 배 개와 상물에 상사티 든디지 상당과 되게 정보 차대로 소소기 다 물리지 내야 돼 고쳐봐지 맞아 따버리게 다와진 조파체상 리딩 쳐봐지 레로시는 매람제네 그 제거를 가서 다 레데로고 뭐에니서 레데로 뭐에니서 상대로 뭐 든디 상사 다 상원의 간다 문티네 멍번한데 로리도 가서 치산조도 디지 상당도나 야분도스로와
Yeah, so I say the efforts that we put in these 2 hours is extraordinary. Is not the same as the 2 hours that you put in your normal works, because I say by listening to the teachings and by contemplating the teachings, then it becomes a practice. It becomes a Dharma practice. So it's like putting as the more we study, then it's like the more drops we put into an oceans. So until this ocean dries up, then how say your knowledge do not dries up. So what it means is to accumulate the drops of knowledge, the drops of listening, etc. And yeah, so when we talk about studying Buddhism and practice Buddhism, they are not 2 different things. It goes together. So it is not separate, it goes together. So we talks about the practice of analytical meditations. It talks about the practice of the stabilizing meditations. So all of us, we help each other. So all of us help each other, or help each other. So and we accumulate roots of virtue together. So it's very important to always remind ourselves how fortunate we are. And we always talked about say this precious human rebirth, right? When we study, then we always come across these terms: precious human rebirth, endowed with 8 freedoms and 10 endowments. So this precious human rebirth is something that is in our hands. It's something that we have achieved. So we must make this precious human rebirth worthwhile. So so even though we have gone through we have gone through almost all of it already. So however, when we have time, then is as a we should revisit, as we should read again those topics, or those topics that we have taught before.
Oh, 딘디스 다 간다 참말에 지스라에 다 게임하다고 저 차샤와이나 다 가서 난치기pe 냐네 로게 전에 파친 고트네로 순지 시직 드린로 산정 이르치거든요. 다 게임 벌써 다 딘디기 고 로메치 딘디지 냐노 순지 시진로 산정 드린나노 에 소소게다 산 최드라 카마다와 제더 다 게잘라 첨 사사레 단도 문티네 소소게 딘디로 토야데 참말로 개청 보시다르와 문티네 두스로야 돼. 오다 드리스는 나서 뒤세세와데 소소게 레로 제바이나 로니소 다다 소소게 치 로조 치 고가 마테바이나 데 조노 거데 조스나 간사질라 소소게 뒤세 매바 짱짱하시네 조노 거다. 다 소소 춘추 보고 춘추들이 상도다나 소소 춘추네 빼 아말 마치네 손데 로 가체제 빠도 소소게 취지야 태양 말에 뒤서 로 가체 동반도사래 로와 오다 대가 나시 동반도베 디나라 소소를 핀토야 다 멍번에 세심마라 코야 가르요 첸들라 핀토야 자첨부 가르쳐요 오다 드서 투상 이야상 땅 빼게 첨부시다르와 나마 데비디다 다다 용심바 다 멍번에 가리 로고메 오드서 상땅 개 첨부르와
Yeah, so I rejoice in all of you. So especially those, some of you senior ones, and you have studied Buddhism for 30 or 40 years already. So you have spent most of your life together with Dharma, not separating from Dharma. So definitely you have accumulated extensive roots of virtue. However, it is very important to continue it, and to have such perseverance. And how to say, we have to be careful with this laziness, because this laziness can just make our 2 or 3 years, can make our years just go without you noticing it. So just think about how to say, since how to say, when we were first born, then how many years how many years gone without remembering Dharma? So, and then you think about how many years that you put in practicing Dharma and what you are going to bring to future lives. So it's something that we have to think about what you have done before and what you are doing right now and what you are going to do in future, or what you can bring forward to future is something that we have to think about.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So stop here and do dedication. We conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through this Dhamma teaching session. May be the complete cause for Buddha Dhamma to spread, to flourish to all 10 directions, and may all sentient beings to have excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue for world peace. May happiness prevails the world. We also dedicate these roots of virtue for long life of for long life of our gurus, and we also dedicate these roots of virtue for disaster, such as the disaster caused by the imbalance of 4 elements, war, conflicts, famines, flood, etc. All sorts of disaster be ceased immediately. We also dedicate these roots of virtue for this pandemic to be ceased quickly. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue for those who pass away, and especially those who pass away in this pandemic. May their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those poor ones, patients, and wretched beings, etc. And as also beings who those who help others, like doctors, nurses, those who help others financially. So may their life be filled with excellent happiness, and may they quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. Yeah, so those who have Dhamma connections with the centers, and then some members and the members, some of the members, family members, pass away, then may their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately, and may they quickly achieve the state of enlightenment.
Dāgē jēnyē zābē gēwān dē dēn dāng rōwā gōng lā gāng bē dā chē bā jē dē lō sāng chā bā dēn bē nī bō rīng dō sē jē yō chā chū sēn jō rīng bō jē mā jē bā nā jē jū jē jē bā nyāng bā mē gōng nē gōng dōng bē wā yō wān jāng bē bā yē jē dāng chēn bā dā gōng dō sāng bē dē yā dē ngē dē dē dā gōng jē jē sā dā lō gēwān dē dā dāng jē rā dō ngō tōng nī dā wā rīng bō jē mā jē bā nā jē jū jē jē bā nyāng bā mē 오늘 공동 배워 휴 린이 따와른 보제 마제 바나지 유지 제반 양마 원예 공도 배워 주 투전 장년 장가자 예된 지조배 예 그제도 본데 조조고 예레메도 다소 대제 된도 자대 주 동리 닌제선도 주변라 지제 산제 강제 된들 천하배 뭐 딘지장도 소원대서 연대 lindu 요 원지대 강대 펜데모데 바 강連주의 상배 이유는 거든 소매 딘지장도 소원대서 연대 lindu 요 강저라의 고의 신간대 펜다 대와 말린 주연의 지레서 딘지장도 샤비젠데 바도 된주로지 오야 thank you
Thank you, Gisela, Anila. Thank you, everyone.